Well, good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to Three Guys in the Bible. It seems like just yesterday that we made our last recording.
Was it?
Yeah.
Does February 6th of 2025. That was a long time ago.
3 months ago. 3 months ago.
Only 3 months. I don't know about you guys, but people have been just all over me saying, when is that next episode coming out? We cannot wait for that. Yeah. Have you had that experience, Ken? Have people been clamoring to hear your
have.
voice?
Well, I don't know about that. I have been asked when the next one is coming out, but I don't know that they're clamoring for my voice.
Okay. Well,
Like, isn't it all you do is do this? This is our one job.
Yes, this is all we do.
it's our only activity. What have we been doing the last 3 months then? Well, let's see. There's been a couple things. How busy was the food pantry today, Ken?
I believe we served 48 different families and about 160 people, and so they were very busy, very busy.
Crazy.
There's a great team over there working, and they are very patient. That hey, we'll get to you as soon as possible. As you can tell, the parking lot is full, so please just hang in there with us. We'll get you the food that you want as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know they were really busy last week too. So it's 2 weeks in a row. I don't know what's changed in the environment in the community, but something has here lately, and the numbers are definitely up, and just gives us more opportunities to minister to new people.
Yeah, there is a big need there, and there's a lot of compassionate people within our food pantry, and so we're very blessed to be able to serve that many people and to have the ability to do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's huge to have the capacity and the volunteers to do it. We went on a mission trip back in the very end of March. Hard to believe that was that long ago at this point, but we did that down to Tennessee, and had an awesome crew that went down there with us, and I think that kind of sparked within some guys and to want to come back and serve in different ways. So that's been incredible. Can't wait to get that next opportunity, whether it's here locally or elsewhere, to go and serve. We had Easter, and then all the things that went with Easter, from an awesome worship night over at the House of Hope. Man, that place was packed, David.
There was a lot of people, man. I was really excited to see both churches really spend some time with those residents there. They were awesome.
Yeah, love that we got to do that with your buddy's church down the road here. That was so exciting. Thanks, Josh, to you for bringing your folks with you, and what a neat night that was. I hope the people there appreciated that. You know, that's cool that people from all over were just willing to come in and worship that night. So that was exciting, for sure. Around here at church, we got something big. A couple big things happening real soon. We got VBS coming up here in just a few weeks. Ashley is hard at work. We wouldn't even think about inviting her to join us because she's got a million things to do right now. We don't have anything to do, so we're just sitting here talking on the computer to each other. So that's we could probably help her somehow, but maybe not. I don't know. But no, we've got another giant project coming up, another awesome new ministry that God has laid on our hearts and in our laps both.
Yep.
I had lunch with somebody today, and I told them that last year, when God put together this strategic planning team that's helping us just kind of evaluate and figure out what direction God's leading us next, one of the things that we wanted to strive to do was not get bogged down in who we want to be eventually one day, but to always remember the ministry opportunities we have right in front of us right now, and to look for new opportunities and things that other people aren't doing in our community, other groups of our community that need ministered, need the love of Jesus. And man, God provided a super cool one, didn't he, guys?
He did.
Yeah.
It's something that was definitely not on our radar. I don't know if anybody's sitting around thinking, hey, this is the ministry we need to start next. And God just opened those doors, and through emails and text, it came about. And I think when we all first started talking about it, it was just like, well, that's something we've absolutely never thought about doing, and we weren't equipped to it. We weren't equipped to do that ministry, and so what a great thing that we can say this is absolutely totally God putting all this together, because the three guys that you're looking at, we would have never done that. We were not capable of it.
No. So
I'm just learning Spanish, so
yeah. So for those of you listening, wherever you are, a couple weeks ago, we got the privilege to go down to Eagle Pass, Texas. Ashley got to go with us, and our good friend Rachel from church went down with us as well. And we got to go meet our new Hispanic missionaries that'll be joining us, Adams and Sobera. They just graduated from Bible college down there in Eagle Pass, and they will be joining us soon. The question arose just a moment ago: how soon will they be joining us? And well, they're waiting for their kids to get out of school. Part 1 and Part 2, we're looking for housing for them, somewhere for them to rent. Hopefully that becomes a permanent thing later on, but somewhere to rent in the meantime while the ministry gets established. And so if you're listening and you have a connection, or maybe even a space for rent for a family of 5, please give us a holler here at the church, at Berea Christian Church, and let us know. And we'd love to talk to you about that, because we know God is going to provide just the right place for them. Perfect. They've been living basically in a college dorm, a small college dorm apartment for the last 4 years, with a family of 5, the oldest child being 12, youngest is 8. And so it's been pretty cramped quarters for them for a good deal of time. And we know God's going to provide a really neat place for them. And so if he lays it on your heart to help us with that, please get us that information as soon as you can. We are excited. And guys, I told you about it, another name that I thought of for that ministry here, and we shot that one down. We're not even going to mention it live on air here, but I looked up another one, and if we use the word Hispanic, so Berea Hispanic Ministry, BHM, no negative connotations. There's not even anything in the Urban Dictionary or anything else that's negative. The closest thing would be big hunky male. So I guess, Ken, that would be your title. So they would be stealing that from you. But so maybe Berea Hispanic Ministries. Why not? I think it fits. It's pretty cool. So we'll bounce that off of Adams and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist online anywhere, at least not that I could find initially. So try to find something unique for us. Yeah, we did remodeling in the bathrooms this week, Ken, at the church here, and yeah, don't judge, Berea members that are listening to this. Don't judge when you come to church Sunday.
You get what you pay for.
That's
it was
right.
all free labor, and you get what you pay for.
Yeah, we got a couple other men that were part of that, a bigger part of that than us, and even Ken, way more involved than I was able to be, and they did an awesome job. Yeah. And it's not quite finished yet, but it's getting close, and we're excited to make those upgrades too. So yeah. Well, let me get started then with the actual reason for the podcast, if you will. I got the privilege of hanging out in service on Sunday while Ken was preaching, which is awesome to get to do. A lot of pastors, I'm not preaching this week. I'm leaving. I'm out of town. I'm gone. But I don't do that. I will go on vacation here soon and be gone, but I try to be here when we have those guest speakers and things, because, well, I love being at church with my family. Has nothing to do with me speaking. I just love the chance to be here. And while Ken was preaching an awesome sermon about the second half of Romans chapter 6 and talking about being a slave to righteousness and what all that meant, and we were slaves to sin, and in this new body, this new life that we're given, we're now slaves to righteousness. And something struck me as he was preaching away, and that was this reality that, man, slavery has, rightfully so, a very negative connotation to it. There's a lot of baggage with that word slavery, especially in our culture, in our American culture, because of our past here and the history that we have with the slavery that existed here. Knowing that in Paul's time, when he was writing that, slavery was very different than that, but it wasn't better. It was still just as evil. There were good situations and bad situations both. So yeah, I just began to think, well, man, being a slave to righteousness sounds terrible. It just sounds like an awful thing because we use that word slave. And so it struck me that what makes it good, because it is good, being a slave to righteousness, is who our master is.
Yeah. So true.
I read an article, an article saying that there's good in surrender. That's pretty fitting with that. Just the fact that we're willingly being a slave.
Yeah, that's a big part. If we're talking to pre-believers about being a slave to sin, they might understand that, but being a slave to righteousness, that's a choice that we made. We're not necessarily choosing to be a slave to sin. The past history of slavery, well, even slavery today, there's more slaves today in the world than there's ever been. Most of those people did not choose to be slaves. They were forced into slavery one way or another, whereas being a slave to righteousness, a slave to our God, is our choice. We choose that. And so, being surrender our life and give it to him so that he can care for us as our master.
Yeah. And kind of piggybacking on what the two of you just said there about surrender. On one of my days off, I just went out and wandered around in the woods. I'm a deer hunter, and I went out and checked some of my stuff. And as I was wandering around the woods, I was just going over the sermon in my head, asking God to reveal things to me that maybe I hadn't thought of yet. And I don't know how many hours I was out there. But all of a sudden I caught myself just repeating the words, peaceful surrender. And I didn't have any idea what that was about, other than those two words were placed in my mind that day, peaceful surrender. And that goes right along with what we're talking about. Yeah, we're slaves to God, but it's in a peaceful surrender that we're saying, hey, I'm going to be slave to something. I can be slave to something that leads to death, or I can be a slave to something that leads to righteousness and holiness. And we've got that peaceful surrender that we say, I surrender to this master, not under force or duress, but a peaceful surrender.
Yeah. And what you just mentioned there, that reality of trying to explain to people that you are a slave to something. You don't have to admit it. That's fine, but you are. You get to choose, which you want to be a slave. I know, especially in America, we're freedom. We love our freedom. We're not slaves to anyone. We still are. And helping people get through that and understand. I make my own choices. Well, that's part of the problem. We do make our own choices, and sometimes we make bad ones, which is really hard.
Three of us are living proof of that. We've made our own choices, and sometimes, there's consequences with every choice. Some have good consequences, some have bad consequences. So. Yeah,
and to have a master that wants you to make the best choices, wants you to experience the best possible outcomes. He truly. He doesn't just want what's best with us or for us. You and I, we want what's best for our kids, for example. We really want what's best for our kids, but we can't control that. That's not really up to us. Whereas our God not only wants what's best for us, he actually knows what's best for us. He knows the best possible route we could take. We think we do for our kids or for ourselves or families, whatever, but he knows exactly how to get to that best possible outcome if we follow his plan, if we submit to his will in our life. And so, not a word you hear associated with slavery very often, but joy. There's genuine joy in being a slave to righteousness and serving our perfect master who did buy us. That's a component of slavery. Yes, we surrender to him, but he actually bought us just like any slave master did at any point in time in history, whether it was the spoils of war or whatever. Our master also bought us, but he didn't buy us with money. He offered his own life in exchange for our surrender. And that changes the game. Yeah. It's totally different.
Romans 5:8, clearly states that, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this, that while we were yet still sinners, Christ died for us. And so even when we were his enemy, not following him, he gave his life for us.
Yeah, well, while we were enjoying the joys of freedom of this world, we just didn't know. But then now we know the true freedom that we have, just being a slave to Christ.
Yeah. And again, we keep speaking in all these terms that just don't make sense to the world. Freedom and slavery. Wait, how can you be a free slave? Those don't go together.
Yeah,
but they do in Christ. In Christ alone. No other place will you find that. No other form of bondage, addiction, anything like that will you find freedom, the freedom that we have in Christ.
Yep. So true.
It is an incredible thing. So yeah, I talked to Ken and David earlier this week. I said, I think it's time to do a podcast. I said, we don't have to come up with an idea. Ken did such a great job preaching that it just flows right out of that message, and excited about that. So, I don't know. What are you guys excited about coming up here?
What are you? Park, honestly.
Oh, worship in the park. That's like only a week away. Oh my goodness.
Which is crazy. I know.
I put off so long going down and registering for us, if you will, downtown, making sure we could use it. It's like we finally got that registered, and now it's here. So are we praying for no monsoon this year?
That was crazy last year.
I think that's as hard as it's ever rained in the state of Indiana that day.
I think so too. It's never been that bad since I've been here. That's crazy.
It was crazy.
The kids loved it. The kids loved it. That as it was coming down the downspouts, man, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah. It was a shower.
Kids were standing under it. And, oh, my goodness.
And I hadn't mentioned it, but I did talk with the ladies. And last year we just invited people that wanted to just bring a picnic lunch and stick around. And we'll just eat right there in the park or the Cow Palace or whatever the weather permits. So if you're listening to this before worship in the park on the 25th, right? That's that Sunday?
Yep. Yeah.
Sunday the 25th, 10 a.m. at Forest Park, currently slated for the band shell. We'll see what happens with that, but that's where we're currently slated for. Bring a lunch with you, or schedule a delivery for pizza. About 11:45, whatever you want to do, and stick around and hang out with the family for a while. Have a great afternoon together. What a blessing it is to be together and fellowship, hanging out.
Only local people here in Brazil would understand. Come and enjoy a great meal at the Cow Palace. I mean, that's not
true.
It's not a barn, and it's not a steak place by any means. The Cow Palace, it's just a local name of a building.
Yeah, and if you don't know the history, it doesn't make any sense. Why is this building here? It's very odd. But if you want to find out more, come. We'll explain it to you. We don't need to do that on here. You can do your Brazil research and find out all about the Cow Palace. So, man, other than that, I guess there's one other little thing that changed in my life. I'm officially a grandpa now. So you might be hearing this for the first time. I'm officially a grandpa. So Bruce Joseph was born on Tuesday at 7:37 a.m. to my daughter Kaylee and son-in-law Justin. And they should be going home this afternoon. Well, this early evening, should be going home from the hospital. Everybody's doing great. And that's super exciting to all of us. So yeah, there's that. Man, let's go. We got stuff to do, but thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Ken, for preaching last week and allowing God to inspire these thoughts and these conversations. And we're testing a new format. You might even see a video of this somewhere. It's possible. But we're testing a new format here. And I don't know, guys, I think this made it really easy to record. What do you think?
I think it's worked out great. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so,
and you get to see part of where we spend our days right here in our offices.
Yep.
Yes. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. If you're listening and you don't have a church home, man, we would love to see you at Berea at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning here in Brazil. If you're anywhere else, please go serve. I love people there at the place God has you right now. That's all we got. 3 Guys in a Bible. Talk to you again soon.